Hello everybody, this is Mr. Rob and welcome to the very first episode of the Chicago Cubs franchise here on MLB The Show 22. I am so excited to be bringing this to you guys today. Baseball back on the channel for the third year, and this year we're taking over none other than the Chicago Cubs. I hope you guys are excited for this one. If you are and you're ready for this series to get underway, make sure you hit that like button as you can see on the screen, as well as hit the subscribe button and that notification bell so you never miss a Chicago Cubs episode. Also, don't forget to join the community. I have recently opened up a Discord that you guys can join where we can talk about anything sports related, anything wrestling related, anything in general that you guys would like to talk about. I leave that link down in the description below. But it's time to start the Chicago Cubs franchise. Now, this year, I have selected the Cubs. This is my third year doing baseball. First year, we did the Astros. Second year, we did the Cleveland Indians. And this year, we're doing the Chicago Cubs. Now, why did I pick the Chicago Cubs exactly? Well, they're actually the team I was going to do last year, funny, believe it or not, before I decided to go with the Indians, just because I wanted to be able to rebrand the team. So, just kind of like a second chance for me, the Cubs, kind of in similar, if not worse position this year. So, I thought, why not pick the Cubs? Now, it's also going to be completely different than last year. Last year, we were the Indians, now the Guardians, and had a very small budget. This year, I didn't really want to do small budget. I wanted to blow it up and go big market style with the Chicago Cubs, so complete 180 from last year. And this is also a team in a complete rebuild. Yes, they won a World Series just 6 years ago, but I mean, only 3 players remain from that World Series team. Last year at the deadline, they traded away Chris Bryant, Javi Baez, and Anthony Rizzo. So this team has really just blown it up. They're in a complete rebuild. I have yet to really just do a full-on rebuild team. So I thought the Chicago Cubs this year would be the team to do. Plus, who doesn't like the Chicago Cubs? So that's another reason why I picked them. But we're going to go ahead and get started with the Chicago Cubs. As far as settings, I'm going to turn off GM contracts. I don't want to get fired in this one. In terms of everything else, I think it's just going to be off. Designated hitter will be on. This will be the first year that we are using the universal DH, so that should be fun. I don't want to ignore the budget, and then I do want CPU teams to trade despite the trade logic in this game. I will set everything to manual to start. I don't want anything changing. And we're going to start in the regular season with the Chicago Cubs. The series will open in Cincinnati. Now, a little bit before I jump too much into the team, how is this series going to be run? Well, if you've watched my past 2 years baseball franchise, it's a lot of the same thing. We will get to know this team a lot. You know, baseball is a grind of a season, and I'd like to kind of emulate that in my series. I don't want to just fly through these in, about 3 weeks, 4 weeks time and then just get on to the next season. I know I really want to get to know the whole 162 game schedule. You guys are really going to get to know these players, see the ups and downs that go through a season. Also, if you are new to the channel, this is a very realistic-based series. I pride my channel on being as realistic as possible, so you're not going to see us doing any ridiculous trades. We're not going to be trading for like Mike Trout or Jacob deGrom or anybody on day one. Yes, we are the Cubs, so we are going to make trades, and we probably will make a couple of big signings here and there, but they're all going to be realistic, not going to just completely blow up the team and just do something massive just because, that player's good or something. It's going to be realistic. We're going to have to use our farm system, use our prospects normally, and then just build up and make this team a World Series contender. As far as formatting for episodes, like I said earlier, it's going to be a grind. Usually what I do is I usually do 2 games per episode, and I'll do 1 game per series. So if I go to the calendar, outside of opening day, just because opening day is just, it's opening day, you want to get to know opening day, I'll usually play 2 series an episode and just play 1 game per series, usually the first game of the series. But if game 2 or game 3, or if there is a game 4 has like a good storyline or something, I will play a different game. But for instance, after we do the Reds opening day series, the next episode I will do the game against the Cardinals, and I'll do a game against the Brewers. That way we can just kind of get a week done per episode and just bring you guys more action, and that way we do have somewhat of a solid pace going on. Also, this is going to be realistic. It's also going to be very deep. It's one of the most deepest franchises that I do across any of my sports games. So we'll be taking a look at our AAA affiliates in Iowa, as well as our AA affiliates in Tennessee from time to time. And as we get closer to the MLB draft, we will also do some scouting, get to know some of the players at the college and high school levels. That way you just kind of get some backstory, get to know the players before they even join our organization, or maybe not even an organization. Maybe they go to a rival organization. But that's usually how it goes. One thing I will be doing this year that I usually don't do is, instead of just straight up simulating the other games in the series, I am going to have critical situations turned on. So if I do start simulating a game and there's a good critical situation, maybe we're down by a run late or something, I do want to show you guys that kind of stuff. So I will jump into some of those games. I won't jump into all the critical situations, but I do want to show you those as well. That way you can see some of the exciting action that is unfolding in some of the other games. Lastly, as far as rosters, yes, I am dropping this series a little bit earlier than I usually do. I usually wait for OSFM rosters to drop just because those are the most realistic rosters to date. But I did want to get this series up and going because, I want to get through more than 2 seasons, and I kind of needed to get started. So I use Sports Gamers Online's rosters, JC Blaze. If I go to Operation Sports and you see him, those are the ones I'm using. I will leave a link in the description to the rosters I'm using. But they're also a very good set. They have all the top prospects and stuff like that. So that's what we'll be using to get started. As well as sliders, I will be going back to armor and sword sliders this year. I used him in MLB The Show 20. He didn't do one for 21, and I'm so glad he made another one for MLB The Show 22 because I think those are the best sliders around. Once again, link will be in the description. So now I got all the background information. Now let's get to know the Chicago Cubs, who will be on the opening day roster. So we'll go ahead and go through. Our highest rated player is an 85, so this is not a very good club. And we're going to get to know the players. Starting pitching, our top starting pitcher is Marcus Stroman, the big signing from the Chicago Cubs in the offseason. At the age of 30, he signed a big 3-year contract, so he's going to be on the team for the long haul. He probably won't be traded with that big of a deal. And coming from the New York Mets, had a pretty good year last year, cashed in with the Cubs, so he will be our opening day starter. So expect to see Stroman around. Second pitcher will be Kyle Hendricks, 82 overall, B potential, 32-year-old starting pitcher from California. One thing you'll get to know about our starting pitchers, they're all old. I think most of them are over 30. While Kyle Hendricks coming off of a down 2021 campaign, we're hoping he can get that flare before that, and it's not just his normal regression, but he's also on contract for not only this year, but next year as well. Our third starting pitcher is Wade Miley, 35 years old, 78 overall, B potential. He's coming off of a 337 season with the Cincinnati Reds, so another move made prior to the start of the season. He's only on a 1-year deal though, so if Wade Miley does start to regress really heavy and we're not playing very good, maybe he could be a trade deadline deal, but Wade Miley is pitcher number 3. Adbert Alzolay is hurt, so he will not be starting the season. That's why he is at single A. Then we have Alec Mills, a 75-year-old C potential, 30-year-old starting pitcher. So like I said, this is a very old rotation. We're really going to have to build them up as this series goes along. He's coming off of 2 not-so-good campaigns and he hasn't really had a good full season with only 2 years of MLB service time. So Alec Mills is kind of now or never with him. And then we also have Justin Steele, a 71-year-old B potential, 71 overall B potential, 26-year-old. So our youngest starting pitcher who has some promise. So Justin Steele, he's a little raw in his home runs and walks. He definitely needs to fix that, but he's got good break, good velocity, pretty decent control off the rip. So Justin Steele's hopefully a lefty that we can have in a rotation for quite some time. And then we also have Drew Smiley at the majors, 32 overall, 32 years, 69 overall C potential. He's not going to be around for the long haul. He'll be a free agent after this year anyway. In terms of prospects, there are a couple. We have 24-year-old Caleb Killian down at AA. He's already a 70 overall, so expect to see him at the majors at some point. He could honestly make an impact this year if we really need him. We also have Braylon Marquez, a 23-year-old, down a B potential, also at AAA. He's 23 years of age. He's yet to have any sort of Major League service time. He's a little raw. I'd like to see him develop for a little bit longer, but he's another pitching prospect we do have. Then we do have Jordan Wicks, our single A affiliate Cubs. He's 64 overall, 22 years old. Another pretty raw pitcher. So we do have some guys in the pipeline. We're just kind of relying on these 30-year-olds to just kind of get us through at least a year or two and then see where these pitchers progress. Anderson Espinoza is another guy at AAA, 24 years of age with B potential, who could be some impact down the road. And then Steven Gonsalves, who does have some sort of experience, while not a lot, all the way back from 2018. He has B potential, but he's probably a little past the actually realizing it. In terms of the bullpen, that's usually where things get a little risky in terms of where the team is. It's hard to have a good bullpen, and our top guy is a 35-year-old Chris Martin, 77 overall B potential from the Atlanta Braves. He won the World Series with them last year, so he brings a little bit of championship experience, and he's got a couple of years of team control. So Chris Martin, he's going to be our go-to guy in the bullpen off the gate. Cody Heyer, 25 overall years of age with 73 overall B potential. He's a nice young guy we could use in terms of the future. While I think Chris Martin will be the top guy off the rip, Cody Heyer will definitely get in there. David Robertson, another veteran at 36 years of age, not going to stick around for the long haul, but he's a good, reliable man as of right now with 99 break. Can't top it. We're hoping he can go back to that form he had with the Yankees back in 2018. And we also have Michael Givens, 31 years of age in our bullpen. You know, another guy over 30. This is a very old pitching staff, but I think his ratings are in a pretty solid spot. He just got to limit the walks. Then we also have Jesse Chavez, 38 years of age. I mean, talk about the old guys. We got to really rebuild this bullpen. And then our closing pitcher is going to be Rowan Wick, who at 29 years of age, 76 overall. Last year only had 5 saves, so he's never really been able or had to be that number one guy. Well, we're going to have to rely on him this year to get those saves. To the offensive side of things, at catcher, we have Wilson Contreras, one of the only guys left from that World Series title. A pretty solid bat, you know, one of the better hitting catchers in the league. Hit 237 last year with 21 homers, hit 24 right before the COVID shortened the campaign. So Wilson Contreras, I'd like to bank on him because the only other guy we have is Yan Gomes, who is 34 years of age, and he's more of a veteran backup. At first base, Frank Schwindel is over there manning that corner, 29 years old, 78 overall. Another very good contact bat, but he has yet to really prove himself in the majors. He did hit 326 in 64 games last year. We're hoping he can turn that around into a full season this year. At second base, Nick Madrigal, our first young infield guy that we'd like to build around, 25 years old, 79 overall with B potential, the former Chicago White Sox prospect. So not having to travel very far, going from the south side to the north side. Hit 305 last year in 54 games. At third base, we have 2 guys, Patrick Wisdom and Jonathan VR, both 30 years old. Wisdom is 83 overall with us last year. He is our power bat. He is a lot of a do-or-die kind of guy. He's going to hit a lot of homers, and he's also going to strike out. He had 28 homers in his first full season of the majors. And then Jonathan VR, another solid, veteran, just going to be a utility infielder guy. He's going to be our backup guy whenever somebody in the infield needs a day off. We're going to turn to the former Met, Jonathan VR. Shortstop, Nico Horner. Now, this is the guy I'm most excited for. He has a potential, 24 years old. He is going to be the face of this franchise, probably for the entire series. I don't expect Nico Horner to go anywhere else. He's going to be the Ahmed Rosario of this series. If you watched the Spiders one from last year, hit over 300 last year, has not played more than 48 games in a season. Well, that's going to change this year. Nico Horner, he is going to be our guy at the top. Andrelton Simmons, just a veteran in middle infielder as well. Another guy we can use. Primarily a defender that will probably play shortstop if we want to use one of these guys in a DH role. I can see Andrelton Simmons also starting. But at the AA level, we have Christian Hernandez, a 60 overall, A potential, 18-year-old. This guy is going to be exciting. He's going to take a while to get there, but an A potential prospect. I'm excited to see what Christian Hernandez develops in this series. Now we go to the outfield. Left field, we have 3 guys at the major league level. Ian Happ, who is an A potential, but 78 overall, 27 years of age, coming off of a 226 down season where he did hit 25 home runs, which is a career high. But we'd like to see him kind of go away from that do-or-die kind of guy. Very good against righties. He is a switch hitter, but performs well when he's hitting from the left side of the plate. So we'll have to see if Ian Happ can get back to be more of a well-rounded kind of player. Also have Nelson Velasquez in the major league level. He's 23 years of age, a rookie. If he doesn't perform well, I don't like to have these rookie guys sit in the majors for too long and struggle. But Nelson Velasquez is on the opening day roster. I'm excited to see what he can do, but he's more of a defensive outfielder. Then we also have Clint Frazier, another veteran who's kind of getting up there. He is the former Yankee coming off of a very bad season where he hit under 200. Hopefully he can turn that around. Center field, we have Jason Hayward, the other veteran who is definitely on the end of his career. But with this contract, don't expect to see Jason Hayward traded for anybody anytime soon. Like I said, this is realistic. Nobody would take this contract, so this is one we're unfortunately on the books with for a while. While I'm very happy to see what he did for the Cubs, getting us to that World Series title. He's on the back half of his career, and the faster he retires, probably the better. Rafael Ortega is our other center fielder at the major league level. Is not really much better than Jason Hayward, so don't got a lot of options out there. But we do have Brendan Davis in the minors, AAA, a potential center fielder. Once Hayward and them decide to hang it up, Davis, already a good bat, is going to be who takes over for sure at that position. And in right field, we have Seiya Suzuki, who is a pretty decent player, nice solid role player. He's going to be a rookie right out of the gate from Japan. Look at that bat. He has a great bat off the rip. I'm excited to see what Suzuki can do for us. But as they look at the Major League roster, I'll show you what the lineup looks like going into opening day. In terms of righties, it's going to be Nick Madrigal, Nico Horner, Frank Schwindel, Patrick Wisdom, Seiya Suzuki, Ian Happ, Rafael Ortega, Wilson Contreras, and the DH will be Jonathan VR. While against lefties, it's going to be Madrigal. VR is actually going to be in the 2 spot. Schwindel, Wisdom, Yan Gomes is going to start off, so we're going to platoon at catcher. Suzuki at the 6 spot, Happ at 7, Simmons at 8, and Velasquez at 9. And then in terms of the pitching, we got Stroman, Hendricks, Miley, Mills, and Steele. While the bullpen is going to be Drew Smiley, Cody Heyer, David Robertson, Michael Givens, Jesse Chavez, Rowan Wick, and the closer is actually going to be Chris Martin. But that's what our roster looks like. That's going to do it for most of this one. Next episode will be opening day. We're going to open it up in Cincinnati against the Reds. We're going to obviously play this opening day matchup. We're only going to go through the opening series in this first episode because it is opening day. I like to make it a big deal. But I hope you guys are excited for this one as much as I am. I cannot wait to get this series started. Opening day will be on Monday, so I hope you guys have a great weekend. And I will see you guys after it's over with the very second episode of the Chicago Cubs series where we kick off the 2022 season. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you are excited for this one, you haven't already, I don't know why you haven't, hit that like button and subscribe down below, especially if you want more baseball content. I love you guys. You guys are what makes these series happen. And this is Mr. Rob, and I'll see you in the next one.